I never got to elaborate, but I seen your interview with Jamil on YSM, talking about your separation with Caleb Plant. I know that you and I spoke on the phone after the fight as well, and you was kicking a lot of game to me behind the scenes. I definitely wanted to listening to that interview. You took upon it yourself to say you didn't want to train Caleb for this next fight, or I don't know. I kind of forgot a little bit about that, but if you could elaborate for the people that haven't was able to see that interview, and so people can know your point of view of that.
Um, man, I kind of said what I said, and I don't want it to be a thing of like, I'm saying anything bad about Caleb or I don't, had like such a big problem with him. I just, at certain times in your life, man, relationships just run their course. Hold up, I'm walking up the steps to the gym, so give me 1 second. Other
No
going.
biggie. Smash the like button, ladies and gentlemen. Subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't subscribed to the channel. Also become a member. So yeah.
Um, Relationships just run their course, man. I got a lot of love for Caleb. I'm very careful about what I say because I don't want it to be a thing where we like it's like a clickbait thing and people trying to guess what happened and stuff. Sometimes you just have to just move on with a relationship, man. And you know, um, that's it. It's not a adversarial thing. I'm not mad at him. He don't owe me money or nothing like that. I just couldn't put myself in a position to to train him again. That's all I could really say. I know y'all want more, but I don't have no more to give. Just let Caleb talk about it if he want to talk about it. But it's not a anger thing. It's just I wouldn't have been able to give him the best version of myself. And I don't believe he would have been able to give me the best version of himself. So at that point, somebody has to make a decision to walk away. And I know people not used to trainers doing that, but
Right.
that's a um that's a lot of
Especially a
work.
high level guy like Caleb too.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I could definitely use the money. You know what I mean? Like who? It's definitely
Yeah, we're hearing rumors that he might get that Charlo fight.
yeah. So of course I could use the money, but at the same time, man, certain things is bigger than money, and you got livelihood, and you know, um, I got to leave my family. You know what I mean? And no fighter in the world is more important than my 2 kids. You know what I mean? So if I'm gonna leave my family, then I have certain things have to be in place for me. And if they're not in place, then it's not for me. You know what I mean? It's just that simple. And that job took a lot of dedication and a lot of commitment from me. You know what I mean? Leaving my family and going away for 8, 10 weeks, flying back and forth, you know, and Caleb was definitely worth it because I wouldn't have did it. He's definitely worth it. I definitely think he was a great fighter and it was a great opportunity. But when certain things start surfacing and, you say to yourself, is it still worth it? You know what I mean? Like, is it really worth going out here if things are not going to be a certain way? And I just made the decision to say, no, it wasn't worth it no more if things are not going to be the way they were when I first started training them. So I just said, I thank you for the opportunity, but I'm going to move on. But people want stuff in depth. And then I think, not saying you specifically, but I think people want to hear like something bad or like, what really happened, Brad? Let us know. I'm not into that, man. Me and Caleb is friends. And if we friends, when things don't go right between us, we kind of just gotta like it's not always gotta be for public consumption of us talking about what went bad. You know what I'm saying? I don't wanna get into that. You know what I mean? I wish that kid the best of luck and I think the world of him as a person and as a fighter. And unfortunately in boxing, these things happen. And then you know, um it's usually like some nasty stuff that happened between the coach and the fighter. It ain't really nothing nasty. It's just that I can't go back out there under them circumstances. That's just it. And I told him that I couldn't, and that was it. Nothing more, nothing less. Maybe he'll speak on it one day. Maybe he won't. I don't know. But that's all I got. I got about 50,000 phone calls. You my guy, cool with you. I'm cool with YSM. I got about 50,000 phone calls on the same thing. And I'm gonna tell you what I told somebody else. Ask Caleb. You know what I mean? Maybe he'll speak on it. But with me, I just sometimes just run their course, bro. Camps is hard, especially
Yeah.
when you gotta travel. Especially when you gotta travel. And sometimes people forget about the what the coaches gotta go through. You know what I mean? Guy lose a fight, he don't perform. You held under the microscope, people saying all kinds of stuff about you that's not true. They not in our camp, but yet they got an explanation on why everything went wrong. And and I could take all of that. I can. I could take the fact that people said that I overtrained them when I didn't. You know what I mean? I could take the fact that they said that we took the guy lightly and I didn't. But you know, it for me to go out there like that, it will have to be under different circumstances, and you know, that's just that. I'm happy with training my guys at home, man. I'm happy with training my fighters at home. They not making as much money, but um, I like the process more than I like the result. I like going through the grind. I like going to the gym every day. You see, I'm in here right now. Just me and my guy, man. I got a heavyweight kid that's 4-0. I really enjoy training, man. And
At all
when I feel like,
levels.
yeah, when I can't give the best version of myself to a fighter, when I feel like that certain things that I used to be able to say I could say, and if I can't say them no more, it's like, ah, all right, man. We gotta just, unfortunately, we gotta split our ways. You know, but I wish Caleb the best, man. I really, really liked him and his family, man, and I really do think he's a terrific fighter. And I wish things would have turned out different with this last fight with Resendez. I wish we would have had a different kind of camp. I wish things would have been like it was the first three camps: McCumbee, Benavidez, and Durrell. I wish things would have been like that because when Caleb is right, he can really fight. That wasn't Caleb in that ring that night. Um, and it's unfortunate. But things happen, and we all got to live with the results. You know,
Yeah.
I'm still living with the results, bro. I still see interviews where people blaming me for Caleb losing. I still see it, and maybe one day Caleb will tell the truth and talk about what happened in camp. I'm not saying he's not telling the truth or lied. Sometimes that could be taken the wrong way, but maybe one day he'll talk about what happened in camp and what happened leading up and things like that, and give more clarity on it. But that's not up to me. That's up to him.
No, no, and salute to you because nobody sees what you see in the gym. I mean, when you got guys that make millions of dollars and you're going through game plans and strength and conditioning turns into something that you're not necessarily doing as much as you was doing in the beginning of your career and whatnot. I mean, not saying that that is the case, but I mean, salute to you for you being able to make the decision and hopefully if there was a time that Caleb said, "Hey," he reached out to you and said, "Hey, can we come back to work? Can would you say would you give it another shot?"
Um, I would, I would, I would have to think about it. I don't like to never say never, but the circumstances will have to be different. That's what I can say. The circumstances will have to be different.